So the question is about how do we choose our heroes? Or it's not how we choose. How do we choose our shepherdees? We're the heroes. Yeah. And I think that all of you probably have been spending, because since the retreat we've all been looking at, okay, who am I going to take on as my shepherdee, or the person that I'm going to shepherd? And we might think of a friend, but then we also have to think about what happens as we go into the levels of depth that it requires to go to, all right, that may be dangerous territories. And maybe that's a really good thing because I can do it with my friend and somebody that I genuinely care about, but it's going to be harder to do. Because their image has a perception of your image, and your image has a perception of their image, and so we have to get through that. So it's not say don't do that, just say doing it mindfully, doing it with consciousness. Do we want to take somebody that is working in our business? That creates another set of issues. None of these are issues that you can't get through, but they're issues that you need to think about. Are you going to be able to be authentic and honest about your life if it's a subordinate that you're talking to? Maybe that's your practice, okay? And we think about, okay, well, how about that person that I can see is having a problem, right? It might be being depressed, it might be going through a divorce, it might be a drug or alcohol addiction, it might be any of those things. And because all of you wouldn't be in 10,000 Heroes if you didn't have this vibration that's caring and compassionate. So you say, okay, well, I should take on that person because they're the ones that's most in need. Understand that if you do that, on the table at the beginning of all of this, you need to make sure that that is okay territory to venture into. Because if you don't, then already in the context of that relationship, you will be holding back from each other. If the alcohol concern isn't being dealt with, it will create a niggle that will create a separation. If you're depressed but you don't want to really admit that you're depressed, you'd rather pretend that you're not, or that you're very good at being depressed sometimes but not at others, and because your level of pretense is different, that's got to be part of the grist for the mill. You got to work it. Okay, if the person that you're shepherding is not willing to go there, you will not be able to create that. It's not that you'll not be able to, it's just harder. I mean, eventually you'd have to confront it anyway, all right? But, so I guess what we're saying here is that there aren't any rules here, but it's be conscious of what you are doing and what you want to do and what's happening for you in terms of how do I bring this level of connection and communication, because it's that vibrational communication, to this person or these people. Please do it consciously and choose with your heart. But also with the ability to, and we all read each other's vibrations, And some vibrations are harder for us to harmonize with than other vibrations. And so, you can pick the thing that you need to work on, okay, but whoa, then you got to get through all your stuff before you even begin to get to their stuff. And then, is it about you or is it about them? And you have a really serious question you got to ask yourself. And I will have a conversation with each of you about who you choose and why. And then we've got to think about contracts, because I think that we need to formalize this enough so that people really understand that you're making an investment in them so that they can make an investment down the road. And that they're willing to be able to go into guru training without a dogma, okay? And we need to be clear about that. As clear as we can be. With them and with ourselves. And what a really good way to create that connection in your beginning conversations with the person you're shepherding. And do it. The power I use it with this couple I talked about in another video, where we did the hold the hands and the look at the eyes and reconnected and a heart source energy for the two of them that's going to be hugely instrumental in their journey moving forward. Those are the kinds of things we want to do with each other and with the people that we are taking a responsibility to shepherd. You cannot take a responsibility for them, but for us being there to support.